Hello, welcome back to the Temple of the Holy Beard. I'm Pastor Dave. Thanks for tuning in. If this is your first time joining, great. It's great to have you. Thanks for coming. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, stay informed. If this isn't your first time, welcome back. I hope you're already subscribed. If you're not, just hit that button now. And if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button at some point and show your support. I appreciate all the comments you've been putting in the comments section. I do look at those. I try to look at them regularly and keep up. So if it's been a little while, just hang on. I'll get back. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay. Well, again, thanks for tuning in. Today is Friday, September 2nd, 2022, and I'm going to read to you a little bit. This is part of the in the news section, news you may not have heard, but it's good to know what's going on, and maybe you can learn from somebody else's mistake. Maybe you can take this information as as helpful preparedness information, help you avoid having this happen to you. So let's get started. Like I said, it's two articles. They are related, two different areas of the country. And again, like I said before, you may be thinking, hey, Pastor Dave, I don't live there. Why should I care? Stay tuned. Okay, so I don't remember where I pulled this first one, but the title reads, California warns against recharging electric vehicles while they're moving to ban gas vehicles. Think about that for a minute. They've been encouraging people, citizens, for years to get off of gas because gas is not good for the environment, and they're getting them on electric. And now they're telling them don't charge your car because the power grid can't handle it. More on that now. These alerts are called flex alerts. Flex alerts. That's just a notification from the California government. Flex alerts are going out in California again. There's a summer heat wave, and the demand for electricity is climbing rapidly. I spoke to someone in California just yesterday, and it is hot, and it's expected to stay hot for a while. So the heat wave has a rising demand on electricity. People running their air conditioners and their fans. They're trying to stay cool and stay alive, because if you overheat, that's not good. And keep the lights on, hopefully, while staying inside. If residents don't follow these flex alert measures, utility operators will again institute a series of rolling blackouts that can last anywhere from a few hours to days, depending on the strain on the power grid. They did this a couple years ago, and there's a lot of people that are relying on their electricity for medical devices, whether it's oxygen concentrators, oxygen, sleep apnea machines, what have you. There's quite a bit of equipment that requires electricity to keep it running, and there's a lot of people that depend on that for them to live. So it's kind of important. So if people don't listen to these flex measures, if they don't reduce the amount of the electrical demand rather than increasing as you naturally would as it gets hot outside, there could be some rolling blackouts. So the article goes on, despite recently moving to ban the sale of gasoline-powered vehicles by 2035, by the year 2035, and encouraging everyone to, quote, just get an electric car, the state doesn't want people recharging those vehicles during peak usage hours. Excuse me. This piece came from the Washington Examiner. California has reaffirmed its commitment to banning gasoline-powered cars and requiring all new sales to be of electric cars in the coming years. Now, California's power grid operators is telling residents not to charge their electric cars during regular heat waves in order to avoid straining the grid. Residents have been advised to take voluntary energy cuts, including setting their thermostats to 78 degrees Fahrenheit and not charging their electric cars. This is because the demand for electricity remains high and there is less solar energy available. It turns out, this article says, it turns out you can't run a state of roughly 39 million people entirely on solar panels. Who'd have guessed it? California was issuing flex alerts and appeals during the summer of 2020, and when people failed to reduce their energy consumption, rolling blackouts began. They lasted for months. Last summer was a bit cooler, so most of the blackouts were results of wildfires, and now it's going to happen all over again. And I'm sure there's wildfires combined with their high heat. So, win-win. Telling people they need to switch over electric vehicles when you are clearly unable to maintain the integrity of electrical grid is the equivalent of advising everyone to go on a diet in the middle of a drought and famine. The article says, keeping the lights on is absolutely one of the bare minimum services that people expect from their elected representatives. Access to food and potable water are the other two. California is currently failing. If you've been watching my videos, I talked a little bit about voting recently. Think about it. Vote for what you want, not for what's popular. Not for what the TV or the social media says you should vote for. Vote for the people that you feel are going to sustain the way of life that you want to live. In this case, the elected representatives are failing to continue to provide access to food, potable water, and now electricity. Think about that. The problem is that the state government in California has known that the power grid was teetering on the brink of collapse for years. Yes, they have. They've experienced the blackouts while ignoring the warnings coming from the utility companies. But they have continued to push to develop solar and wind power while eliminating fossil fuels. And they shut down their nuclear power plants. They're down to one. More about that in a minute. The results were predictable and, in fact, had been predicted by industry experts, industry analysts. And now they are pushing everyone to move to electric vehicles while being unable to generate enough power during peak seasons to keep the lights on. There are currently about 600,000 electric vehicles on the road in California, out of about 14.2 million cars altogether. 600,000 electric vehicles out of 14.2 million cars. If a little more than 500,000 EVs being recharged is already enough to push the power grid over the edge, what's going to happen when there are more than 14 million cars waiting to be plugged in? That's a good question. California Governor Gavin Newsom has reversed course and decided to keep the Diablo Canyon nuclear power plant online. That's their last one, at least through the near future. But that's simply not enough. The plant provides almost 10%, less than 10%, of the state's electricity by itself. If they won't fire up any natural gas plants, and the hydroelectric is drying up, they need to start building 4 or 5 more nuclear plants ASAP. The voters of California have a duty to hold the government responsible for meeting their basic needs, and if they won't vote these loons out, they only have themselves to blame when they're sweltering in the dark next summer, or this summer, or every summer after that. Our society has become pretty dependent on electricity, and unless you're able to walk to work, and your work can function without electricity, and you can function at home without electricity, you're reliant on electricity. Unless you can provide that electricity for yourself without petroleum or fossil fuels, you've got a problem. We all have a problem. This is California. But like I keep saying, what happens in one place is going to happen in other places because nobody's making adjustments. I hate to sound doom and gloom. I really do. But this is just how it is. And it's good for you to know this, to have it in mind. For one thing, so that you can vote for the people who want to sustain the type of life that you want. And so that you can make preparations to sustain life if things go badly. Prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. Strive for the best. Vote for the best. but you got to survive somehow. On to the next article. This second article is in a different area. I'll get to that in a minute. And titled, Power Company Locks Thermostats of about 22,000 customers and cites an energy emergency as the reason. 22,000 customers locked out of their thermostat. More about that in a minute. Now, I'm paraphrasing these articles, so I'm reading fairly close to what they wrote, but I'm making some adjustments and putting a little bit into my own words to make it shorter and easier to understand. This article came from pjmedia.com, and it starts off with, for many Americans, the summer of 2022 has been a blistering hot and humid, miserable existence. It's just one of those years when one truly appreciates the comfort provided by something as simple as an air conditioning unit. How did we live without them? That's something to look into. How do you stay cool without an air conditioner? I'll have an article about it or video, an article or both about it in the future, but for now, start researching it yourself. How do you stay cool without an air conditioner in your area? But for some 22,000 Xcel Energy customers in Colorado who wanted to be a little bit more comfortable on Tuesday, that was this Tuesday a couple days ago, when the temperature was over 90 degrees, a bizarre message flashed on their thermostat indicating they'd lost the ability to control the temperature in their own homes. The message read, "Temperature locked temporarily during energy emergency. Due to a rare energy emergency that may affect the local energy grid, your temperature slider has been changed from 8 p.m. to 8 p.m. That one's confusing. 8 p.m. to 8 p.m., assuming it's 24 hours at least, I guess, because you enrolled in a community energy savings program." That's the quote, but have you enrolled in an energy saving program with your power company? Think about that. So these people were locked out of their thermostat. They could not make any changes to their home thermostat from 8 p.m. to 8 p.m., at least 24 hours for this notice. I'm sure this could go on as long as they need to. Then the instructions, it had instructions to email the company if you wish to be removed from the program. So your thermostat's locked out, you can't move it. If you're panicking, at least you can email them to be removed from the program. But I'm sure you have experiences with emailing people that are getting a lot of other emails. So, there's no telling how long it'll take for them to respond to you and how long it'll take for them to remove you. I would venture to guess that these people's thermostats is going to be locked down for this period regardless. But that's just my assumption. Again, doom and gloom. Prior to this, customers enrolled in the program had no idea they could lose full control of the thermostat in their home during a nasty heat wave. According to KMGH-TV, one resident said, "Normally, when we see a message like that, we're able to override it." So he's seen messages like this before, but he could usually go on anyway. In this case, we weren't. So our thermostat was locked in at 78 or 79 degrees Fahrenheit during a heat wave. He went on to say, "To me, an emergency means there is, life, limb, or, some other danger out there. Some massive wildfire, even if it's a once-in-a-blue-moon situation. It just doesn't sit right to us to not be able to control our own thermostat in our own house." KMGH-TV added that some customers' homes reached 88 degrees inside. 88 degrees Fahrenheit inside your own home. What was the emergency that Xcel used to snatch away control from its customers? The company said it was due to an outage in Pueblo, Colorado, combined with the heat wave and subsequent heavy use of air conditioning. One might assume a large energy company would have been prepared for some late summer heat. This person wasn't alone in sharing his outrage, as numerous Excel customers took to social media to express their shock and disgust over the situation. Another customer tweeted, "Just got my first taste of green energy control yesterday. Recently had a new AC installed with a fancy smart thermostat. The power company, Excel Energy, changed my thermostat to 78 degrees from 74 yesterday afternoon." So they normally keep it at 74, which a lot of people would call high. Then the power company changed it up to 78, and some people were seeing 88 degrees in their house. Think about that. Another customer tweeted, "Utility company tricked us / you. They hid a line of text in the fine print when you signed up for subsidies, giving Excel Energy coverage to force its customers to opt out." You're automatically, if you sign up for this energy saving program, you are automatically giving them control of your thermostat, and you have to opt out. So you have to know that it exists and then ask to be removed. Legal disclosures should not take advantage of people. That's what he put in his quote. I agree. Legal disclosures should not legally be allowed to take advantage of people. But, okay, an Excel Energy executive addressed the company's first test of what feels like energy nanny statism in a statement. So apparently this was their first time locking it down and removing control. So the executive told local media outfits and had the audacity to blame customers for the uncomfortable situation. Here's what he said. Emmett Romney, Vice President of Customer Solutions and Innovation at Excel Energy. He said, "It's a voluntary program. Let's remember that this is something that the customers chose to be a part of based on the incentives." Okay, they chose to be a part of it. That's why we took away their control. But you didn't tell them that they were choosing to be a part of it. They were just trying to save a couple bucks. He added, "So it helps everyone for people to participate in these programs. It's a bit uncomfortable for a short period of time, but it's very, very comfortable. Very, very helpful." He said, I'll repeat that. It's a bit uncomfortable for a short period of time, but it's very, very helpful. So it helps everyone for people to be a part of these programs. What do you think the temperature was at his house? I don't know. It's not in the article. Upon further research, the incentives mentioned are laughable at best. First, customers who enroll in the program are clearly not aware of the fact that they can literally lose control of heating or cooling in their home. Then, as a reward for their compliance, Excel offers customers, just a moment, change the page here. Excel offers customers a whopping $100 credit up front. So as soon as you sign up, they're going to give you $100. It's not too bad. A lot of people like to have a free $100. Then, to allow them to continue, and then an annual $25. So they unknowingly gave up this freedom to control the temperature in their own homes for $100 one time and $25 a year. Do you think they noticed $25 a year? You notice the $100 up front, that's nice, but $25 per year. Let's do the math on here. 12 months in a year, $25. That's about $2 per month. Do you think you're going to notice $2 per month taken off your power bill? Sure as heck going to notice when you come home and it's 80 or 90 degrees in your home, it's sweltering inside, it's sweltering outside, and you can't control your thermostat. I digress. Now that Excel customers know that they lose the ability to raise or lower the temperature in their homes for a measly $25 a year, Hopefully, all 22,000 who were affected will not only opt out of the program, but those who have options will also shop for a new energy provider. Kind of goes along with what I said of voting for the people who are going to make the choices that you want to make. Vote for the people who are going to support the type of life that you want to live. And in this case, voting is with your money. Instead of checking a box, you put your money where you want it. So buy from the companies that support the life that you want to live. If you find a company that is doesn't share your values, if they contradict your values, don't shop there. And they will either change their tune or feel the repercussions. That's a form of voting. And in this case, you have a choice. If you only have one power company available, that's a lot of areas you have more than one power option at this point. But you can either choose to take that power company if you like them and just either opt out of this program and not get that $2 a month. I'm sure it's not going to hurt you too much. Or you can stick with it and just know that you're not going to have control. That's the options in this case. So again, if you're not in California or if you're not in Colorado with Xcel Energy, you're probably not affected by these. But you might be affected in your own area. Whether it's your power provider that has the ability to turn off your home, you might have it's not the smart meter's fault. You might have a smart meter and you might not be part of this program. There are other theories that go along with possible problems with the smart meters. I'm not going to get into that, and I don't have data to back up any of those in particular. But the type of meter that you have is not the problem. The problem is the policies of the company. And the way to fight back against policies that you don't like is don't give them your money or put out the effort to opt out of their program. When they have few people in the program, they're gonna make adjustments. They might come up with a different program that people do like, or just do away with it, whatever. 22,000 people part of that program. If they end up with 10 people or 100 people left, it's hardly worth maintaining that program for them. So there's things that you can do to control your life. Don't feel that you're locked in. A state like California, I mean, I get it. You want to push people to electric because you feel as though it's cleaner. That was an article I was writing, haven't finished yet, but maybe I'll do a video on it. I've actually done the research into these electric cars, how clean they actually are. I am very strong on taking care of the environment, taking care of nature. We are part of this planet, like it or not. If we don't take care of it, we won't have it. We're gonna destroy it. However, the electric vehicles are not as clean as they want you to believe. Sure, you're using electricity to charge it. There's no emissions coming out of your exhaust pipe. However, the environmental impact to making the battery alone, just the battery, is more of an impact than a gas-powered car makes in its lifespan, for the most part. Most people exchange their gas-powered car to get a new car about every 10 years or so, or less, depending on the person. Some people get it a lot more often than not. But a brand new electric vehicle, to make that battery, takes as much emission, it has as much environmental impact of about 20 years of heavy use with a gas-powered vehicle. Think about that. Most people don't keep their car that long. If the newer vehicles, new gas-powered cars put out less emissions. If you maintain your vehicle well, it puts out less emissions. But to build that battery for that electric car is nasty, it's dirty, and it's really hard on the environment. If you really want to reduce your gas usage and do something that's good for the environment, opt for hybrid. Hybrid cars don't have those massive, nasty batteries. and they use a heck of a lot less electricity. So I'll do a video more specific on that, but that's a general. And so them pushing you to go 100% electricity, electric cars, is not good. They're not as clean as you might think they are, and it's probably going to take another 20 years or more to actually get them in the place that we think they are now. That's if we put a lot of pressure on the auto industry to improve them, and if things overseas don't cut off our access to the components we need to make the batteries, which is happening right now. Oh, my notice going off. So I'll do an article on that later, or video on that later, to tell you a little bit more detail about that. So yeah, if you're car shopping, my suggestion is to either stick with what you know. Gas prices are going up. We're probably going to have a pretty bad shortage here soon. But, it's commonplace, and they're not as dirty as you think they are. If you want to go with something cleaner, try to find a hybrid. Emphasis on try to find. Because there's not a whole lot of new cars around, and the hybrids are being snatched up super fast. If you're going to buy a used electric, emphasize the battery. Just like I said, those batteries are nasty to make, bad on the environment, and they don't last very long. I've read numerous stories of people buying a used electric car only to have to replace the battery a couple years later. And right now, if you can find a replacement battery, they are not cheap. They're not cheap. You're really better off just buying a newer car. But again, going to save that for another video, so stay tuned. It's going to be coming out soon, and apologize if this video is quiet. I'm trying to speak louder. I hope you can hear it better. I do have a microphone coming in soon. Hopefully it's coming in today or tomorrow, but stay tuned for that. I'll post a video about it for a mic check when that comes in. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I hope you've taken some of this information to heart. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button now. Stay tuned, and hit that like button to show your support. Any comments that you want to have, please put it in the comment section. Even if all you do is say, thanks for the video, something like that. Anything that you do to interact with the video like that shows YouTube that you care, that you want to see more, and they'll help these videos get out. So I'm going to keep making them, and I'm going to try to show positive as well as negative. I'm going to do some educational and different matters. I've got a slew of topics, a ton of topics that I want to cover. Compared to some other channels, this channel is going to be all over the place. But I hope you enjoy it. I hope you stay tuned. I hope this is good information for you. Again, I'm Pastor Dave from the Temple of the Holy Beard. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.